you know that thing that's been dawning on me, fam, is like who's the real enemy? Like, for a country to allow, coronavirus and all these things, I don't know what it is like. It's like, is there like a greater, like, is like, okay, cool. Is it like a new world order or whatever, or is it like for the greater good, which it is, but it's like who's the evil party? Because out of everyone that's getting affected, the only people that have been quiet in all this is Russia. You know what I'm saying? Were they involved, or they were like, nah, they're not involved in you, man, do your thing, innit? And they're always being painted as the bad party, innit? But you don't see anything coming from that side, like, oh, they're struggling or this.
Because they're communists. They're communists. It's like North Korea. They're a communist country. So you would never hear any bad press coming from Russia itself because it's a communist country. So it's got its own thing going on down there. Like even in North Korea, you never hear anything about that. It's other people talking about North Korea.
But and they're saying, I don't know who told me, but they're saying South Korea has already tested everyone.
It's already tested what?
So supposedly, like South Korea or North Korea have already like tested everyone.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It won't be North, because North Korea, that's Kim Jong-un, bro. There's no access.
Supposedly, these men have got this thing on lock, like South Korea, or I think in South Korea they've got it on lock, like they've tested everyone and they know what's going on and blah 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 blah. Anyway,
you've actually got a point there still, because I got a lot of South Koreans that follow me on Instagram, yeah, and fam, they're chilling, They're actually chilling. Like I see their stories and that, and they're actually chilling.
Even in China, do you know China was saying it was American military people that brought this virus over, and then
they were saying.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, then Donald Trump was like, nah, it's the Chinese and what they were eating, blah 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 blah. The dates is the Chinese virus. That's why he was adamant to call it the Chinese virus. But the Chinese people are like saying, it's like, nah. It was American soldiers that brought this over, and then now it's 5G towers and they're pulling down 5G towers and I don't know. And then there's beef because of like UK struck a deal with China for these 5G towers.
Yeah, like 5G and stuff, innit? Bro, it's I feel like
they're actually making the poles. And you know what's mad as well? They're making the poles now, those 5G poles. They're making them right now.
We had a theory,
Go on.
Tell them, Chief. Break it down to you, Chief.
We were thinking like, obviously you were driving all the way, yeah, and you were calm, and then you got hit by one of these 5G towers, innit, in Croydon.
You were not tired, man.
What you mean?
It was the frequency coming from the high frequency coming from the 5G poles, isn't it?
You lot are idiots, You lot are absolute clowns, fam. Wow.
And that's why the police were like helping you, because they were like, no, let's cover it up, man. They can't know about these 5G towers, isn't it?
It's too big, man. It's too big. Let this nigga go in it until it's done.
I will never know, fam, why they were so nice to me, those police officers.
But do you know what's funny? Yeah, that there's a 5G tower on that road, I think.
Oh, is there?
Road. That's Croydon Road, I think it is.
No, it's London Road, isn't it?
The London Road, but there's a 5G tower around there somewhere.
Imagine if the road is long though. It's a long road. It's a very long road.
Bro, you're so fucked up, innit? But you just time to invest in yourself, innit? Which is good, man. Yo, I was trying to Merv as well, yeah? Do you know what he was saying, yeah? Because he lives on his own, innit?
I respect Merv for that still. Because, like, someone like Merv is...
What?
Just having his own idea, like, you know what I'm saying? Like...
Yeah, I was actually chatting to him. It was really interesting. And then what else? We were chatting, innit? And then, we started talking about depression and stuff, yeah? And obviously he lives on his own and stuff, right? And he was just saying, yo, man, because he asked me, do I live on my own? I was like, no, I live at your. And he was like, oh, yeah, fam, you're lucky, innit? Because right now, fam, living on my own, yeah, you watch movies and stuff, but you don't have anyone to talk to, It's long, fam. You can talk to someone on the phone and stuff and all that, but to a certain point, it's like...
You want that physical interaction.
Yeah. Not just physical, but he doesn't have a PlayStation or I think something like that, innit? So you can watch...
You don't need one, fam. You don't need one. You don't need a PlayStation, bro.
On your own, innit? Like, and not being into PlayStation or any of these things.
You have. Do you know what I mean?
social interaction.
So he was saying that, yo, fam, it's long, because after a while you just get bored and you're like, you got nothing to do. If you got nothing to do, it's like, well, what do you do? And I feel like, but he didn't understand that how people are depressed. But I'm like, yo, fam, a lot of people spend most of their time running away from themselves, and obviously getting yacked and doing all this stuff and destructing themselves. But now, fam, if you got problems and you're not dealt with a minute, that's when they come back from.
But a lot of the times, most of those stresses are caused by work. Now, work is not there. I think you find other things that you can point the blame to, innit? That this is the thing that's causing my depression.
Now, but a lot of people, do you feel like a lot of people are going to come out depressed, like suicide rate is going to increase because of this?
100%, because people are not. Some people don't even know themselves. So, like, when you're in the yard now by force, you're faced with yourself. You get me? So it's gonna be one of those situations where, like, if you didn't know yourself back then, you're gonna know yourself now by force.
But hey, bless, yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot of past days, yeah. And I was thinking, you know how people complain about like work and blah 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 and take holidays and stuff. And now that they've got like an unlimited holiday, people are complaining because they don't know what to do with themselves. One, and two, they feel like do you think we've been programmed to think we need to work or be in an office or think about that? Like, people are stressing for not being at work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you've broken their routine, bro. You know when you break someone's routine, bro, they can.
But should we be in a routine? Like,
I feel like that's outdated, isn't it?
It's like having like animals, isn't it? Like, you go to work, blah blah blah. Now you've broken their routine; they don't know how to act.
Yeah, I think that comes down to just adaptation, innit? Something that's probably overlooked in our society, like adapting.
But should we be in that way? Like, is that right or wrong?
It's a bit like, that saying sheeple. That sheeple saying, like, basically you just do exactly what you're told. And if you go out of that system, you can send a person crazy. I think that's what it probably is still. Like, because like this is the rat race. The rat race has stopped now. You get me? It's been put on pause. So if all you ever knew was the rat race, fam, well, what do you know now? And a lot of the times, the rat race is a lot of people's identity. So a lot of people view their jobs, because there's some people that fuck up their personal relationships here because of their jobs, spending too much time at work. You get me?
But now every company is gonna have to adapt, or by force.
They have no choice, innit?
But do you know what's mad, yeah? The fact that when they said, imagine life is never gonna be the same as before, innit? Do you think people write? Like, do you think people write and say, like, look, now I'm done staying in? Do you think?
I feel like if it stays for a long time, people are just gonna end up losing it and start going outside by force. It's just gonna be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out. I think so, personally.
I've got something to read to you. What you just said, that statement, yeah. There's people right now with that idea at this moment in time. I think I've already told you about this, Bless, about Italy.
Yeah, you told me stuff.
Yeah, fam. People are wilding in Italy, Let me read this statement to you. So basically, this is from the Sun News, isn't it? It says the strain is shown in the south of the country, where one man in Apula reportedly called police after the bank closed and they couldn't withdraw his mother's pension, their only income. Footage shows him shouting at officers, telling them the family has no money. His mother begging to go to their home so she could show them they have no food. It's hard to watch, but it's what desperation looks like. Another video has been shared around the country showing a father with his young daughter addressing the Italian Prime Minister, saying, it's already 15 to 20 days we've been inside and we're at our limits. He gestures to his little girl who is eating a piece of bread and says, like my daughter, other children in a few days won't be able to eat this bit of bread. Rest assured, you will regret this because you are going to start a revolution.
Yeah, I feel like at one point people are gonna lose it, fam.
But that's the thing, because they don't have the infrastructure that the UK has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Italy is fucked. Italy
They
is in a
don't have
bad
the
state.
benefits that we have. They don't have like they can't just give every business money. They can't just give everyone money. They can't just no, but think about how much money, yeah, if it is 5G, think about how much money and revenue this 5G must generate for the economy for them to pay everyone for 3 months. Brother.
Nah, I think they're putting out money, that's gonna be a lot of peas. That's billion, fam. That's like 4 billion. That's gonna be peas, bro.
4
Think
billion is
about
not
that.
the
Think
government,
about
bro.
that.
That's peas, fam.
4 billion is not peace to the government, bro.
No, but before they were saying they don't have that much peas in that. Where's this peas coming from?
It's a
Yeah.
finesse. It's a finesse to make you believe that they don't have peace. It's like, oh, just budget cuts and all these things. Let me tell you this thing, yeah. It was a documentary that was on BBC last year, and like they were interviewing MPs in it, and like basically these MPs they get like these cards. Like when you become an MP, that you get these cards so you can go and do like work for the government in other countries, whatever the case might be. Yeah, they were interviewing this MP, and then the interviewer was asking him like it says here on because obviously the receipts are public. They're public records in it because obviously these people work generally for us in it. You get me? So obviously the receipts can be public record if you obviously request them and go about the procedure in the correct way. So the guy's asking the MP, yeah, like why did you spend 3 days in I can't remember what country it was, and you spent £10,000 for 3 days at a hotel. And then he was like, "Oh, I need to be." He was saying, "But you know what this guy said?" He goes, "I needed to be comfortable." So, fam, like, this is taxpayers' money. The reason why this thing was even happening in the first place because they're using taxpayers' money. But he said this. He was asking him bare questions, and throughout the whole interview, the guy had a smirk on his face. So, like, he knows, bro. Like, us, man, we're being taken for dickheads. Like, us, like, the public are being taken for dickheads. Like, in terms of just paying taxes and them taking liberties and abusing those taxes, innit? Just doing whatever they feel like doing. Like the corruption is on like a sophisticated level here. It's not like an AF where like the corruption is just there on the surface. Here it's like in a more sophisticated level, like the corruption here, innit?
That's what I'm telling you, fam. Don't shake the people around you and the big shakes going on, fam.
I hear you, fam. Amen to that. Amen to that, fam.
You
It
shaking.
don't make sense, fam.
It don't make sense, fam.
Don't be shaking people around you.
There's people out here shaking.
But we're saying, fam, once the
shaking the whole countries.
Selling airports, isn't it?
I'm telling you, shaking the whole businesses, shaking the whole continents, fam. Trying to put vaccine in Africa, fam. That's a big shake, fam.
Oh, I know. Amazing.
Alright, fam, hopefully they don't do that shit, man.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.